Ramadan is an occasion of fasting. We are aware of this. Shahr al-Siyam. And fasting is a pillar of Islam. What I want to concentrate on in this first khutbah, inshallah, is how we benefit from fasting. And I want also to comment on the concept and the notion of suffering, and make a balance between the way of Islam and other ways. And just to remind the brothers and the sisters, the subjects of Friday speeches for the coming weeks of Ramadan, inshallah, have been announced on the internet. And this beautiful crowd is so beautiful, and we wish to see every brother and every sister in the Taraweeh prayer every night. And we would love to celebrate with you the mercy in Salat al-Jama'ah every day, especially in the evening. And inshallah there will be 2 lectures in the evening, every day. First lecture will be before Taraweeh on Tafsir Surah Yasin, the interpretation of Surah Yasin, which I believe every Muslim memorizes. And the second lecture will be a brief talk on the meanings of the beautiful names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Tafsir Asma'illahi al-Husna. Because on Friday speeches we cannot talk about everything. It's a limited time and limited opportunity, and we know that you have to go back to work. But we need you every night in the evenings to sit and be exposed to the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Taraweeh prayer and in the dua of al-Qunut, and witness every night the increase of your iman and the promotion of your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Since we all understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't get any pleasure from our worship. Our worship is for our own sake. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. But not that He gets a benefit or a pleasure from our worship, subhanahu wa ta'ala. No, but that He created us to know Him. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ أي لِيَعْرِفُونَ. We are created to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the goal, the end of our creation. In the process of knowing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we need to understand that worship, ibadah, is the only way. There is no other way through which we can reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala except al-ibadat. Yet some people may reflect upon the fact that, well, some other traditions, people of other faiths, say that you may reach Allah wherever you are. Or some others say, in order to reach Allah, you have to suffer. You have to suffer. Buddhism, for example, or Hinduism, is built on suffering, pain-taking. In order to please God, you have to suffer. Islam is not built on that way, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't get any benefit from your ibadah. Your ibadah reflects upon you, elevates you, improves you. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala planned the ibadah in a way that is compatible with our capacity. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. Allah doesn't task any soul beyond her capacity. And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the prayers 5 instead of 50. In the story of Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj, you understand how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala imposed first 50 prayers on us and then made them 5. Because the deen all is made in order to improve our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to benefit us, to make us know our Creator, acknowledge His bounties upon us. So from that angle we understand that the purpose of fasting is not to suffer. This is not the goal of it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't get the pleasure in our suffering and of our suffering. No. The goal of fasting is to train us to be servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to be attached to Him and only to Him, not to anyone else, to rely on Him, to return to Him. Because in the process of business, while we're journeying throughout our life, we might get attached to many things. The Prophet ﷺ expressed this in a sound hadith in al-Bukhari: تعس عبد الدينار, تعس عبد الدرهم, تعس عبد الخميصة, تعس وانتكس, وإذا شيك فلا انتقش. Could a person be a slave to someone else, a servant to someone other than Allah? Yes, the Prophet says here, perished is he who is a slave, a servant of gold, dinar, a servant of silver, dirham, a servant of luxury, servant of dress, piece of cloth. If this is the goal, then you're bound by your goals, and you're going to live your life running behind the dunya in order to get the best of it, and there is always something better, and you will be always thirsty, and you will never get enough. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted us to train, to understand that we can do without a little bit of food. We can do without a little bit of drinks. We can do without the pleasures of mates married, coming together. We can do with all of that, and in reality we can come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the least that we take. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم. At the end of the verse, there is a beautiful statement. لعلكم تتقون. لعلكم تتقون. لعل in the Arabic language is حرف ترجي. That is to say, you hope that something is going to happen, so you say لعل. So all indications in the verse indicate that the process of fasting leads to taqwa. كتب عليكم الصيام. Siyam has been proscribed upon you, as it was proscribed on the people before you, so that you may get taqwa. How can we get taqwa? By abstaining from food, abstaining from drinks. We get taqwa? Yes, indeed. This is the school of training in which and through which we get taqwa. If you are able to resist a meal during the day when you need it and you are hungry, you will be able to resist an income that is haram in the future. If you are able to resist a glass of water when you are thirsty and you don't drink for the sake of Allah, and you wait until sunset, you will be able to resist the temptations of the dunya in the future. If you are able to resist approaching your wife or your husband during the day of Ramadan, if you are able to resist the temptation of lust, you will be able to succeed in the battles of this life between haram and halal, between us and the shaitan. Because there is a battle going on, and the bulk of us are defeated in this battle. Some income, a job that is offered to us, even if it is haram, tempts us to be defeated in the battle and to sacrifice all the Sharia rules, and we go for it. We have no patience. Anything that is haram offered to us from the dunya, we have little resistance in front of it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted us to train how to resist the temptations when you need food and drinks and lust, and you resist from it. You train how to have patience in other fields of this life. This is why, as we will see later inshallah, we're going to speak about anger in one of the coming Fridays, because Ramadan is a school, a training school, how to suppress your anger. We're going to speak about sadness and distress, because Ramadan is an occasion through which you return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a training school. So we train here to have patience and self-resistance against all the temptations of the dunya. And the worst of all temptations, and the simplest, is the temptation of a dish of food. a dish of food.